on the news. Independent National Electoral Commission presents report of 2019 general elections. Minister of Transport Rotimi Amechi defends rail project to Niger Republic. Plus, Lagos Judicial Panel of Inquiry airs footage of the Lekki Toll Plaza incident. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogrinde. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has presented its report for the 2019 general elections on Friday. Mahmoud Yakubu, the INEC chairman, made a presentation today at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja as he explains the document to the audience, citing the two components of the report of the stakeholders and the report of the election itself. The chairman took time to elaborate on the report to include preparations, conducts and post-election events. Briefing the journalists, he said 180 recommendations were contained in the report, and some of the recommendations, which requires administrative actions, were already being implemented by the Commission, adding that some recommendations in the report would require legislative backends by the National Assembly to be implemented. He also informed the journalists that the hard copies of the report will be widely distributed, while soft copies will be uploaded on INEC's website by Monday. Following the submission of the video footage of the events that occurred on the 20th of October 2020 at the Lekki Toll Plaza, the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry and Restitution for Victims of SARS-related abuses and other matters is showing the footage captured by the surveillance camera. Panel Chairman Doris Okowobi directed the footage over 20 hours long to be played in full following an application by the lawyer representing the hashtag #EndSARS protesters, Adesina Ogulano. Soldiers were accused of shooting at the hashtag #EndSARS protesters, injuring and killing some, an allegation the military has denied. The alleged shootings are believed to occur from just over 6 p.m. on October 20. The panel began viewing the footage at about 11:35 a.m. The global rights organization Amnesty International has alleged that the lives of its employees were in danger following its report of the Lekki shootings of October 2020. In a statement on Fridays, it said some faceless groups issued threats to attack its workers and office premises. It therefore called on the Nigerian authorities to ensure the protection of lives and properties of every person in the country. And move on to other stories where Amechi, the Minister of Transportation, said that the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration is to achieve intermodal transportation system to enhance economic growth. The minister said this while appearing before the Joint Committee on Land and Marine Transport with a sectoral budget for marine and land as well as overhead totaling 205.161 billion naira for 2021. It disclosed that there were 3 key railroad lines that would have been promised by the government, which the public procurement has approved, noting that in 2021 the construction of the affected projects will be embarked upon. The minister said construction of railway from Kano to Katsina and from Libya to Maradi, a commercial town in Niger Republic, will be of value to the nation. The projects were planned to commence by the year 2021, and government is expected to pay counterpart funding on the projects. And the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, has sworn in 8 new justices of the Supreme Court, pushing the number of justices of the court from 12 to record 20. The CJN presided at the 8 of them in turn took their oath of office and oath of allegiance to the Nigerian Constitution. After their swearing, they climbed to the bench where their 12 seniors were already seated to their positions. The Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has said it would take more than just the military approach to defeat the insurgency in the northeast region of the country. Speaking to State House correspondents after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja on Friday, the governor said his administration has resettled more than 100,000 internally displaced persons who are now back to their homes. According to the governor, it will require a political solution to end what he called madness afflicting the state, adding that the kinetic measures currently being applied would not be enough to solve the security problems. We'll move now to Enugu State, where the Enugu State government has confirmed many deaths from an unidentified disease in Etel Uno and Ukwobi in Igbo Eze North local government area of the state. Now, the two communities have recorded scores of deaths since September following the outbreak of the strange disease. A health officer in the area put the death toll at about 50. I think that specimen has been collected for proper diagnosis and treatment of other patients. The disease broke out at Ete early September and spread to border community of Ukwobi, where 20 persons have died. A group of human rights under the aegis of Center for Human and Socio-Economic Rights, CHSR, has described the security situation of the aftermath of the EndSARS protests in the country as uncalled for. The group leader, Comrade Alex Omotensi, said the state of security situation in the country, particularly in Lagos State, is worrisome as the citizens can no longer sleep with their two eyes closed in some areas due to fear of hoodlums and miscreants. Omotensi said the state or country without police is like a state of anarchy that does no good to anyone.
The CHSR and its allies sympathize with the families and friends of all victims of this present unwarranted situation in the state. And as we equally urge the police authority to ensure that in any of their call to duty engagement, civility should be their watchword. Finally, intelligence gathering by us have shown that residents stand a risk of attack. Therefore, we call on the police to beef up security all over the state for those who hijacked the EndSARS protests, burn police stations, carted away arms and ammunition, take police uniforms, are definitely going to put it in place to use of such dangerous weapons.
We're also aware of the fact that some Nigerian youths or Nigerian people are beginning to see every policeman on the street as a potential enemy. And we are saying that cannot be. We shouldn't be that way. We particularly made reference to the Okoba incident because most people who were not aware of what transpired there that day began to label the police as killers. The police definitely need the cooperation of the people, and the people must cooperate with the police. As long as SARS has ended, we should give the police the benefit of the doubt. We should give the government the benefit of the doubt, so that we don't begin to label all police formation as being bad.
Let's go for a short break now and return with more stories.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
On TV360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
The Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that
The girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dullards that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that band.
TV360, providing clarity to issues.
Welcome back. Now let's take a recap of some of our stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission has presented a report of the 2019 general election to the public. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu said the reports, which contained 180 recommendations, will help to improve the country's electoral system if implemented. We also told you that the Lekki Concession Company has made available footage of what happened on October 20 at the Lekki toll gate to the Lagos Judicial Panel of Inquiry. The panel directed the footage be played in full for the panel to see what transpired on the fateful day. Moving on to COVID-19 stories, where Nigeria has recorded fresh 180 COVID-19 cases, taking the total number of infections in the nation to 63,508. This is according to the latest statistics provided by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on Thursday night. The new infections were reported from 14 states, with Lagos recording 87 cases, while Oyo State and the FCT followed with 51 and 12 cases respectively. Of the over 63,000 cases, 59,748 have been discharged across the country and the Federal Capital Territory, with a total of 1,155 deaths. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it has so far made a total of 3.5 trillion naira disbursements to cushion the effects of COVID-19 pandemic on the country's economy. This is contained in a review of the 132nd communique of the Monetary Policy Committee MPC meeting, obtained from the Apex Bank's website and signed by its governor, Godwin Emefiele. Emefiele noted interventions were largely in the area of manufacturing, agriculture, electricity and gas, solar power and housing constructions, among others. He added that the CBN was also set to contribute over 1.8 trillion naira of the total sum of 2.30 trillion naira needed for the federal government's one-year economic sustainability plan, ESP. We'll take a short break here and return with business.
It's about the files your secretary presented to me regarding the company's salary. Yes, the figures don't seem to add up. I suspect there's some form of a
discrepancy.
Precisely, sir.
Keep the figure that way.
That's fraudulent, sir.
That's my money.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't do that, sir.
See how padded your books are. Are you telling me you cannot pad up figures?
Sir, padding is against best auditing practices, and it's a form of corruption.
It's true. Accountant.
You were testing. Thank you, sir.
That's it. Bagole.
Yes, sir.
You are fired.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine, sir. Rather than watch corruption grow under my watch. Padding is a form of corruption and not in my country, sir.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Glad to have you back. Now let's join Mary Kano for Business and Stock.
Thank you, Folashade. The Federal Executive Council has approved 87 billion naira to upscale the country's road infrastructure in 4 geopolitical zones. Briefing State House correspondents after the virtual meeting, Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola said some of the contracts include the Oyo-Ogbomoso Highway and the Loko Oweto Bridge, which links Nasarawa and Benue states.
Oyo-Ogbomoso Highway, which is the 52-kilometer part of the Ilorin-Ibadan 145-kilometer highway. So the remaining part is the Oyo to Ogbomoso side, which is 52 kilometers. So we needed to adjust some things in the scope of works, the thickness of the pavement from 500 mm to 560 mm, to also change the asphalt to polymer modified bitumen, and also the shoulders from surface dressing to fully asphalted inside and outside shoulders. The second similar project which we are trying to complete is the Loko Oweto Bridge. That is the bridge across the river Benue that links Nasarawa and Benue states and provides a major time-saving detour of about 4 hours from people trying to come from South Benue through to Nasarawa to Abuja. So the approval given today was a 9,348,000,000 variation to complete the bridge component.
Let's take a pause here and return with stock market review. The Nigerian Stock Exchange ended the week on a bullish note with an increase of 0.90%. That is 31,016 basis points. Market capitalization closed with an increase of 144 billion naira. And at the end of today's trading session, there were 31 gainers versus 12 losers. Today's market saw Dangote Cement lead the top gainers, followed by Guarantee. Dangote led the top gainers for today with 174 naira increase, while Guarantee had 33 naira increase, followed by Presco with 67 naira and Guinness with 17 naira. Well, for today's losers, BUA Cement led with 40, was the top loser for today with 43 naira loss, while Flour Mill also followed next with 27 naira loss. And Mansard, AXA Mansard Insurance followed next with 2 naira, and NEM also had 2 naira loss for today. And today's market, in summary, had a volume of 637 million naira shares worth 5.229 billion naira, exchange hands in 6,354 deals. And on the foreign scene, we have FTSE was up today with 0.50%, and Nikkei was also up with 0.91%, while Dow Jones ended on the red today with 0.28%. And that's it on business. I'll leave you now with Folashade for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Mary. Now move on now to the foreign scene, where Democratic candidate Joe Biden has pulled ahead of Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, a key state in the U.S. presidential race. Voting data shows if Biden takes the state, he would secure his victory in the election. According to the most recent data, Biden is leading by more than 5,500 votes, with 98% counted. Earlier, Biden edged ahead of his Republican rival in Georgia, another key battleground state. Is leading there with more than 1,000 votes, with 99% of the ballots counted. It's now time for Entertainment Report on News Now.
1 month after the release of his last album, Yellow, Brymo's released a new EP titled Libel. The musical project contains 5 tracks all written by Brymo and was produced and mastered by Bigfoot. The latest body of work seems inspired by allegations of sexual harassment leveled against the soul singer earlier in the year. After quitting his contract to Chocolate City in 2013, the soul singer has gone ahead to release 5 great albums, and they are Tabula Rasa, Trance, Clitoris, Osho, and Yellow. Nengi Amsteen has joined the League of Big Brother Niger housemates to get a political appointment. The reality star and second runner-up of the lockdown season has been appointed as a senior special assistant to the Bayelsa State Governor, Doye Diri, and an ambassador for the girl child. The news of her appointment was broken on Twitter by her fellow housemates, Neo Akpofure. A big congratulations to Nengi on this milestone. The movie Citation by indigenous and award-winning filmmaker Kole Afolayan has been officially released on Netflix. The film narrates audience first by a female postgraduate student, Moremi, played by Temi Otedola, who is forced to find a way to deal with an awkward situation of sexual harassment from a popular male lecturer. Other stars in the movie include Jimmy Jean-Louis, Joker Silva, Ini Edo, and a host of others, with a surprise cast of Ibukun Awoshika.
Now moving now to the sports scene, where stakeholders in the world of Nigerian sport have expressed disappointment in the federal government's decision of no fan in Nigeria versus Sierra Leone game of November 13. Samuel Ikpe, the national chairman of the Nigerian Football Supporters Club, NFSC, said in a statement on Friday that the Presidential Task Force PTF on COVID-19 and the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development was not being fair. Ikpe, who wants the government to change its resolve, further insisted that the decision smacks of double standards from the government as it concerns breaching the COVID-19 protocols, since political rallies for Ondo and Edo state elections were held with hundreds of people involved. And that's it on our package. Thank you for watching. I am Folashade Ogrinde.